to practical diplomacy. As we talked about it before, diplomacy is a colorful and multifaceted world, which can be experienced and lived in many forms. There are, however, some elements that are quite typical to diplomatic life, and foreign service is such. And when you are in foreign service, mostly you will be serving at an embassy. Embassy life, in a sense, is not very different from other workplace settings, but it does differ in one major factor: it's abroad. And this factor has consequences to your everydays, to your work-life balance, to life in general. Every workplace is, of course, a micro-society with its internal human dynamics, but after hours, you can generally exit that micro-society and live your private life, which is not closely connected to the workplace. Being abroad, this balance shifts towards the embassy. The extent of this shift can be different depending on where you serve. In a comfortable and familiar capital, this shift is not so strong. In a foreign culture, it might be stronger. And on the extreme end, in a conflict zone or a city with serious security issues, the shift can be complete, meaning that you never even really leave the embassy compound. So this shift results in a special situation in which you don't have proper time and space to be mentally and physically away from work. You cannot vent out stress, pressure, possible internal dissonances, maybe even conflicts with co-workers. Just imagine someone from the neighboring office being really irritating. If you work in your hometown, who cares really? They give you 2 minutes of headache daily, but you have all your life to focus on, so it doesn't really matter. If the same happens in a faraway country where you spend virtually all your time with the same few colleagues because the streets are dangerous and it's a small embassy anyway, then that one annoying person will put a proper burden on your nerves. And if we add that it might be a high pressure, high stress position you're in and you would need friends to relax, then you start to see what a big difference it is if you work at home or abroad at an embassy. As I've mentioned, of course, no two embassy settings are the same. It can be a huge embassy with dozens, or if you're American, then even hundreds of diplomats and many other staff. And then this is not even such a micro society. You will surely have your safe space and trusted friends. But it can be a small embassy with only a handful of diplomats and just a few extra staff. And then these interpersonal connections matter a lot, and you may have to work a lot on them to create balance. The embassy can be equipped with service apartments, so you have to reside within the premises, and then really your colleagues will be your neighbors too, adding to the continuous feeling of being at work even when being home. Or it can be the opposite. Diplomats can live in nice apartments a few blocks down the road from the embassy in a short but healthy distance, so everyone can have their personal space and privacy. So as you can see, the extent differs greatly, but working at a foreign embassy surely makes you rely on your embassy team way more than any other work environment. An especially important factor in all of this is, of course, the boss. Ambassadors can make or break harmony like no one else. You see, they have complete authority over the hierarchy of the embassy, and it means that their character leaves a big mark on the general mood of the group. I myself had all kinds of ambassadors. One was a really kind human, paying attention not only to his own but also to his colleagues' needs, and he was adaptable and helpful. He didn't only assign work, but he worked to himself. So you can imagine that the whole environment was very positive and one felt good to be serving there. No nerves, no stress, just smooth and cooperative work. Another one was a good expert in the region, but not a good leader. Couldn't bear the weight and stress of becoming ambassador, and he started acting in a very authoritarian manner, taking every differing professional contribution as a personal attack on his supreme status, and he retaliated in a ruthless manner, sending people home, keeping everyone in fear on a daily basis, never talking straight, never looking in your eyes, always ordering other colleagues to convey his messages. So you can imagine what a stress that was added to the 10-11 hours of high-pressure daily work. Because I may have forgotten to mention, when you're in foreign service, your days won't be 9 to 5. Work will usually be way more than that. One of my favorite ambassadors he was really inspiring. I learned a lot from him in every aspect. he could bring the best out of his people, and he supported creativity, which for me was important. But he had quite the exquisite style that was sometimes a bit too much. So, for example, once we organized a small-scale reception, and we already had the menu of the catering supplied by one of the best hotels of the city. It was great. Now, he concluded that the dessert, which was a type of small cake, is, I quote, not playful enough. So, even though I had to write reports, deal with a bilateral agreement, handle dozens of incoming mails and whatnot, possibly some consular stuff too, I spent a full day in multiple attempts so that the chef understands to make the cake more playful. Excellency, if you're watching this, I love you, I respect you, but you know that cake was fine. Okay, a topic that cannot be avoided is the situation of families in embassy life, because it can be difficult, and I've seen quite a lot of marriages fall apart because of foreign service. It's easy to see why. First, not everyone is made to go global, but especially if the spouse of a diplomat cannot get a job and is destined to sit at home, leaving a prosperous professional career because of the husband's or wife's foreign service, that will hurt. When both are diplomats, it's a jackpot. When the husband or wife can get a somewhat fulfilling job, at least part-time, it can be satisfactory. But many times disappointments are simply not avoidable. And with time, these disappointments can do real damage in the family dynamics. So these questions must be addressed and dealt with in advance before even applying for foreign service. If you want your partner to stay by your side, you want your partner to be happy, then there must be some very open and very honest conversations about their interests, wishes, opinions, and plans too. I strongly believe foreign service and embassy life are great, valuable, and fulfilling. But to enjoy and fully exploit its perks, one must be highly flexible and adaptable, and one must start embassy life already being aware of all circumstances. Thanks for watching, keep promoting peace, and see you in the next chapter.